This is 2D Design with Rob Colvin. I have a symmetrical design that I previously created. Here are all my layers you can see, and I'm going to use layer styles to add a metallic look and texture to these. So I'm going to the internet. I'm going to look for a metal texture that is seamless. Seamless will work best for your continuous textures. I found this one that I like, so I'm going to right click on that and go down to copy image. Then I'm going to go back to Photoshop and I'm going to go to File and New. So Command N, and I will click OK. And I will do Command V to paste, and I'll merge those layers. I want to select the whole canvas, so Command A. Then I'm going to edit, and I'm going down to define pattern. So you can name your pattern or call it whatever you would like. I'll call mine metal chips because it looks like chipped metal. I'll click OK. Now that is saved in my layer styles textures. Now I want to apply that to one of my layers. I will pick this layer. So if I double click on that, or if I go to layer, down to layer style, I can go to pattern overlay, and you can see a pattern is automatically put on top of that. Here's the one I just made. So a close-up of that window, you can see I have many options to choose from. I can play with the opacity. You can look over to the right of that square shape and see how the opacity of that texture changes on the shape. I can adjust the scale, and you can see how the scale changes on that shape over to the right. So as you play with those options, you can also choose a normal blend mode, or you can change to overlay, see how it changes. I don't like overlay. I usually like to keep it normal, but it's up to you, so I went back to normal. Okay, now I want to go to bevel and emboss. See how I clicked on that and it put an edge to that shape, those shapes. I can play with the size of that bevel. I can go into the details, and you can see I choose color dodge for the highlight, and I choose multiply for the shadow. So those are two options that work well. Also in the gloss contour, I like to use the direct diagonal. And for this one, I wanted my angle to be 90. So you can play with that light source angle if you want. Change it to 120. Have it come from below, it's up to you. So up here on technique, I like chisel hard. On style, I like inner bevel, but you can try the other options. The other option you have is to play with the color or the brightness on the highlight edge. So I clicked on the window of the little color box, and I'm playing with the color. You can see how it changed the highlight. So drop shadow is another option you have. So if you click on drop shadow, you can change the shadow, how it looks, its depth and shape and softness or hardness. Also its opacity and its angle. I like to keep mine on multiply because it makes it more transparent. And I like my contour to be that direct diagonal. Seems to work the best. So now you have your layer style on there. Click OK. You notice over here on the right I have a window open. a little palette of styles that I have created. You'll see that I have quite a few styles in my box that I've already made. You can make your own. So to open up that window, go to Window and Styles, and your style palette will open. So if we want to create a new style, click on the little icon there at the bottom right. It says you're creating a new style from the layers you just did, as long as you're still on that layer. So you can see how that style looks on the little square there. You can name it if you want, or you just keep it the way it is. Click OK, and you have a new style that appears at the bottom of your styles palette. So it is saved for any future use. Now I can use that layer style on another layer on this current work. So I'm going to go up to layer 3 here and click on it and go back down to that layer style I just created and click, and look, I have the same layer style applied to that center circle. I have many layer styles to choose from here. I'm going to apply one to layer 1, and you can see how it looks. I like it, so I'm going to close the layer style options in those layers, and I'm going to apply a layer style to the background layer. That background layer has to be separate from the actual background layer, so you can see it's a copy. Now I'm going to save it as a PSD and give it a name. I'm going to put my name on it because I want you to put your name on your assignments. But you're going to submit it as a JPEG. I'm saving it as a PSD because I want my layers so I can remember what I did and how I did things. So you may or may not want to save yours as a PSD and a JPEG. It's up to you, but I do want to see the JPEG. So now I'm going to flatten it. Flatten image under layer. Now I will go up to File and Save as a JPEG. So I wanted to take a step back and show you how you can change your colors quickly. So go to Image Adjustments and to Hue and Saturation. So with hue and saturation, you can move the hue back and forth on this scale and change your colors. My pattern layer in the layer style is slightly transparent, so the color underneath is coming through the pattern. And by changing the color on the original layer, I can change how it looks. So you can see the options you have. I can also change the saturation, so I can make it more dull, or I can make it brighter. Don't think that everything needs to be bright. If everything is loud, then everything's screaming for attention. So you want dull colors along with bright colors because you want contrasts, because contrasts complement each other. Differences create interest. So good luck and have fun.